Hey, what's up everyone? It's Duskmos, and today I've got the Flancher 5 here from Glou-Glou, and I'm going to be checking out the CV modulation options with help from a couple friends over here. Let's check it out. Okay, so this video is going to be a little bit different than normal. It's not really a review or a first look demo of this pedal. It's also not really a layers video because even though these are changing the sound of this, they're not providing any sound themselves. But it's kind of like a part 2 of the Flancher video that I did for the 5B and the 7 earlier. But today we're going to look at how the OBNE Expression Ramper and the pedal Brainz left brain CV modulate this via the control voltage jacks up top. But if you didn't happen to watch my launch video on the Flanchers, the 5B here is a stereo analog delay that can also hit on some reverb and chorus type sounds as well. And I've got it hooked up to the OP1 field here from Teenage Engineering, going in stereo, coming out stereo into the TX6, also from Teenage Engineering, and then out into the camera. Okay, so I've got a couple patterns on the OP1 field here. And the first one, clean, sounds like this. Pretty simple. Leaves a lot of room for the delay to do its thing. Let's go ahead and engage it. So there we go, that's what we're working with. I'm not going to do a lot of knob changes up here, because we're going to leave that to these guys. Now first up, I'm going to check out the Expression Ramper because it uses the 5-volt Expression CV converter that's built in. So I'm coming out and going into the Expression jack. Now we can take that out and map it to something here. So let's map it to time in the left channel. It's not much of a change there. This isn't activated right now, so let's go ahead and do that. So as you can hear, the left channel is going really low, really slow, and then pretty fast. You can change the rate as visualized here. And right now I have the Expression Ramper jumping with a square wave. So it's going from my A setting to my B setting, the two values that I set. We can change that to sine, or actually triangle. So now you hear it kind of ramping up, ramping down, a little more wiggly. And the values can change based on where you have the actual position set of the knob. But what's cool is you can slow it way down if you want. And get some unique effects going. Let's do that with the wet blend. We'll up the feedback as well. So you can hear the wet signal fading in and out, which is super cool. I match the times now. We can speed it up. Now we almost have like a tremolo on the wet blend, which is super cool. And of course you can still do what you're going to do with the pedal, so you can do some like modulation. So you want it more subtle, you can do that. Really cool. Okay, we'll take this out now. I've got a splitter here, so we'll actually map this same expression ramper voltage to two different things. So we'll do depth of modulation left, and depth right. Real funky. Let's switch this to a square wave. Even weirder. Get a real, I don't know, interesting, almost like digital garble kind of noise. You can also switch to a mode here where it just jumps from A to B. So we still have this modulation in effect here. It's doing its own thing with the LFO, but we have the depth set right now in, I think, A mode. Oh, this is still, oh, it's great, but so we can hop between values, which is pretty cool. Let's try it with time. Turn off the modulation LFO on the flancher. And so now we're jumping between the A and B value. Okay. Now, let's try something a little different here. We're going to go from the out to the double. Need ramping here. As you can see, this is jumping and it's making this double flash. So it's turning on and off. It's basically hitting this switch for us to make the time halve or the speed double. It was a really cool effect. Slow it down. And we can set the max values that we want for either value here. So we can choose A, and we'll say we want it maybe like halfway. Go to B. We want it all the way down. So now we activate. This isn't the best example of that because it's still just going to flip this button, but let's try the feedback amount. This one's probably not the best either. Let's reset this. So there you go. You can see it's jumping the feedback amount. Yeah, see, that's cool. And now it's going to go nuts. Actually, if we have it slower, we'd probably notice it more. Let's try that. Yeah, it gives it more time to actually stack up the feedback. Well, yeah, I also had the time really fast, so that didn't help things. So that's pretty much how you would use the expression ramper with the flancher. Lots of cool applications, as you can see and hear. So let's actually stop this pattern. I'm going to go to my next one here. Set my in and out points. Okay. I'm going to bypass. This is what it sounds like clean. Making sure I don't have tracks muted. So that's what we're working with. So again, I'll go ahead and engage the flancher, and we still have the feedback ramp. So let's just hear what it sounds like with the expression ramper. Pretty cool. Nudging it back just a little bit. So we actually leave that as is, just kind of doing its thing with the feedback for us. But I'm going to introduce the pedal Brainz, left Brainz CV, and I have its own two outputs here. So let's map these to time left and right. Kind of move this one out of the way. But yeah, as you could hear, it's doing interesting little dives every so often. With the time. Watch the lights here. That's how this one works. If you haven't seen my video on it, the lights are, there we go, the the amount. And so this one kind of stays steady for the most part, except for when it occasionally dips. So you can add some wild modulation. There you go, that one really went low. So this has all kinds of modes and stuff. You can even do manual control. So but I really liked it in this kind of slow, almost like bad tape kind of vibe. Let's switch modes though, and let's see if we can get some other things going on here. Yeah, that's super crazy. And so some of these modes will, obviously react differently. So this is lights off, meaning it's basically the values all the way down. So in this case, since it's tied to time, the time is low. So that's why it sounds kind of like crushed and those delays are a bit longer. We can even slow it down. Switch modes. Now we may not notice the modulation because I have it, or the CV because I have it so low. Let's see. Like a power failure, like meow. Lights are back, everybody. And the colors represent the different values as well. There you go, we got a party mode here. So let's map this now to doubling. And that's more of like an on-off type, because it's just basically modulating the button press, so you won't notice the variations in the voltage as much. So let's change it to phase. Get a little bit of LFO going here for the modulation on board. Let's change the expression ramper to just be the wet level. Maybe not. Maybe we'll switch it to the dry level. Yeah, I mean, so many options. We'll leave time alone. And we'll play with the speed. We'll actually go back to feedback here. And we'll go to a ramp instead of the square. Let's change the phase to go back to the double. And we'll make this the wet level. So this mode is a pretty cool one because you can see it's not regularly on and offing the double switch here. So it's got to hit the right voltage to activate it. We got the wet level blending. Yeah, really interesting, kind of unpredictable in this mode. Granted, you can make your own modes or make very steady waves and things like that, but I like some more of the random ones because it just makes things interesting, adds like those little pops. Because we don't have time modulator, except for the double, let's just go for a little faster here. And why not, let's take the, we'll leave feedback as is. Oh, I take that back. But we'll still let it run a little bit. Okay, so now I'm actually going to take the expression ramper and go ahead and map this to time left and right. And it's on the it's on the triangle. Let's go to the square. So we're going to get this modulation of time, and we're going to get the occasional doubling of time from this. Crazy, especially when you come down from the double mode. It's such a big jump of pitch. Listen for it. Yeah, pretty cool. Because this is modulating the wet level, with the lights off, you're not hearing much. You probably need a different range here. Yeah, there's a lot going on between watching this light and what it's mapped to, these lights, what it's mapped to, and the double. But it's very fun, very experimental. And this thing is still going to have its own fun while the feedback runs after we've stopped the pattern. But there you go. That's a bit of the Flancher and the extensive CV modulation options up top, and pairing it up with the Expression Ramper and the left brain CV. Both really cool options, both a bit different. You know, the pedal Brainz left brain CV does a lot more, has two individual outputs that you can, you don't have to do a splitter. It has all the different modes you can program. It's got the random ones. It's got the knob here. It's got the invert or standard mode. You can do plus or minus voltages. This is just staying from 0 to 5, so I have it just on the plus side, but lots of things you can do here, lots of programmability. This one obviously much more simple, but still pretty powerful, and definitely adds a lot of modulation fun to the Flancher. I appreciate you spending the time you spent with me today checking this out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.